are live.
Okay.
We are live.
Hello,
And it's
live.
You've Got Mel, and Mel has one of the nicest people on the planet as his guest today. Welcome, Tom Tucker.
Thank you very much, Mel. I'm really excited to be here.
You have such a nice voice. What do you do?
Uh, well, now I'm a voiceover artist. I do a lot of commercial and image film work, but spent over 30 years on stage, singing, acting, and yeah.
Do you want to sing my jingle?
I don't know your jingle.
Oh, okay. So I'll do it this time, and then we'll do it together next time.
All right.
You've never heard my jingle, which is good.
Oh no.
First time jingle. This is how I hook people into the program. You know, you have a great jingle, and
Yeah.
then you bring wonderful interviewees.
There you go.
Okay, we're ready.
Get a chair, grab a seat, or we'll sweep you off your feet. We move, we groove, you got Mel. Ease your legs, rest a while, all you gotta do is smile. We're swell, can't you tell you got Mel? When the show begins, you better hold on real tight, or before you know it, you'll be high as a kite. Take a break, settle down, we're the only show in town. That's our road, don't you know you got Mel? Give it up, don't think twice, we're a hurricane on ice. What the hell, give a yell, ring your bell, show and tell. Mademoiselle, give a smell, you got Mel. You've got Mel.
I will learn it. That's fantastic.
And Mel has Tom Tucker. So I'm going to say the one and only Tom Tucker, but I just found out that you have a twin brother.
I do have a twin brother. He's has nothing to do with performing. He's a real estate agent in California and has a fantastic family, a wonderful life. But yeah, our ways in life parted years ago when I left California. We see each other, but he was made for the business world or for more personal contact.
So he's not identical.
No, we are. We're identical twins. My face is longer, his is a little rounder, but it's very obviously twins, yeah.
So how could you be different if you're identical twins?
I don't have the scientific knowledge to answer completely, but we're called mirror twins. He's left-handed, I'm right-handed. So we're also, the eggs split in a way, I guess, that also gave us kind of opposite qualities. So where I was much more quiet.
He's not nice?
No, he's nice, but he was a much more social, boisterous person as a kid, and I was much quieter and reserved, which is why if you had asked anybody in our family at the beginning who was going to be the performer, odds-on favorite was my brother Terry.
Okay, but I have a theory about that.
Okay.
We'll remind you later. So Tom, the remarkable thing about us, and I haven't seen you in about 10 years. Since we last barked together.
Right.
And one of the things that's bothering me is what were you doing at that conference with 200 bankers, investors, entrepreneurs at an SAP meeting, and you?
Right. So you don't actually remember how I ended up woofing for you directly then. One of my very good friends still, Alfonso Pantisano, was the presenter for that day. And he introduced you and other people, but evidently you were talking to him before the show and were mentioning needing somebody's like, and he said, I have an actor friend in the audience. So then when you were up there.
I remember that, but what were you doing in the audience?
Well, he knows my passion for creativity and cooperation. And I don't know if you also remember, I wrote something after that day and you reposted it. It's in my Facebook notes, but my passion has been, as you say it so lovely, juiciness for a long time. I love connecting with people and giving and seeing what comes back. I believe in a little bit of a trade, but I don't necessarily need to have money for the things I do for other people. I've coached people in the musical world and voiceovers and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I was there to because the whole topic of that day was about creativity or connection or something in that direction, which he knew was a passion of mine. So yeah.
And I was lucky to meet you because I was looking for a character to play a dog.
And who better? I don't know if you'd have gotten any one of those suits up out of their seats to help you with that. But it was loads of fun, and I don't mind making a fool of myself on stage. So
Yeah, well, and what does that say about you? It said to me a great
oh
deal about your humanity. You know, we put the dog ears on you. I didn't
but
even know you, right?
no, we hadn't met before until I walked up on that stage. I don't know what it says about me. That's for others to say. But I like and have always loved spontaneity and play, and that was the situation. So I was eager to get up and to dive into your world. I was learning from you too. So I was only getting on that day, which was lovely.
No, no, you were great. You gave me a run for my money. You were a really great dog. You know, maybe we should continue this shtick. We're not going to do it today,
Okay.
but maybe we should do, you know, a kind of continue it. You know, it was so good at the
But
way back.
I'm always up to play that. I don't know if I was the straight man of the situation or the
No,
comedian.
you were the cynical dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
But I mean, in
know,
terms of you and I in the relationship, I don't know if you were setting me up or I was setting you up. It kind of works both ways.
well, I was setting you up in order to set me up,
Right. Exactly.
and you
What
were
was the
just so
situation?
marvelous about it.
It was loads of fun. It was truly
And
fun.
you know, we've been in kind of email touch or Facebook touch since then.
Yeah.
And what a great opportunity to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So start at the beginning.
Right at the beginning. I Yeah, I don't know. I grew up in the suburbs of California, and then Northern California. I grew up in Silicon Valley before it was Silicon Valley. I grew up in a wonderful family. It was easy. We had a very competitive family. We always had games. We had a pool table or ping pong or air hockey, or always had something, darts, chess. And having a twin brother anyway, you grow up a little bit competitive. Yeah, I grew up in the suburbs of California. Life was easy. And it wasn't until ended up going to three high schools. We moved twice in a short period of time. My father was doing well at work and got a couple of promotions. So we moved to San Diego, which I absolutely fell in love with, the beach. And I could walk to the beach from high school. And then 2 years later, my senior year, we moved back to Northern California, and I finished high school there. And while I was in college, almost done, I got a job offer. I had been working in a friend's karaoke show, and I was his sort of Johnny Carson and what was his Ed?
You were the MC.
That was his sidekick, sort of. And he called me Mr. Smiley. And
This was in high school.
no, this was after. This was during college, towards the end of college.
So Tom, until college, you didn't realize that you were an actor.
The first time I ever did anything, this was kind of a funny story. Let's see how shortly I can keep it. I was a aide to a professor in a night psychology class at a junior college, where I had actually gone for a year and had played in musical orchestras because I played trombone. I was on a break and I went outside. It was a nice evening, and I ran into a couple people I knew, and we started talking. They said, "Come with us. We're going to the theater." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I knew it because I knew everybody. And so we're standing there, and the director of this piece, and it was a six singer, two dancer review on Fred Astaire music. And the director said, "Hey, so what are you singing?" They were starting the audition. It's like, no, I'm just on a break. I got to get back. And everybody's like, "Come on, sing, sing, sing." So as a joke, I sang part of Corner of the Sky from Pippin because I had played the show as a trombonist. And so I sang a bit of it, laughed, and left.
But Tom, so here's a great opportunity for you to relive that wonderful moment in your life.
Oh yeah. Wow. That was yeah,
No, I,
37 years ago.
yeah, no, and good. So now I'm asking you to sing a little bit.
Okay. That song?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember. And I haven't sung in 7 years, but I'll give it my best. Um, Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason, and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? That's a bit of the song. That was a little bit too high of a key, but
Yeah, no, I was saying like for a bass singer, you're doing very well. You're almost tenor, you know. You
I
must have you have a great range.
thank you. I had a pretty big voice at the time. So yeah. Anyway, long story short, my friend Sherry calls me 2 weeks later, and she's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm at home. You just called me." She's like, "No, why aren't you here?" I'm like, "Here where?" She's like, "Rehearsals." I'm like, "Rehearsals for what?" She's like, "The show. You got cast in the show." I'm like, it never dawned on me that I could just say, "No, it was a joke. No, thank you." It's
So,
like,
so your whole life started out as a lark.
as a lark. Um, and I drove down there and started rehearsing. It was just so bizarre to me.
How old were you? About 17?
19.
You were 19. So
Yeah.
until then, it was just it
I'd
was.
never sung on
You
stage.
studied something else in university, psychology, something.
Industrial psychology, yeah. Yeah. A little bit of business in there too. Um, so yeah, so I went down there and then I started taking voice lessons so I wouldn't feel foolish. And this is how I knew I was a performer. Opening night, it's a small theater in the round, there's 99 seats or something. And there are two ramps up onto the sunken stage, and the people sit above you. So we're all standing down in this tunnel, ready to run up, give it our all. I'd never done this before. And the music started, we started running up. And we realized it wasn't the opening song. The sound guy didn't rewind the tape all the way. But because I had played trombone on the recordings, I heard it was the second song. And I started singing right away. And everybody else jumped in. And I thought, well, this isn't so hard. So that was the beginning of my career was taking lessons so I don't feel foolish and having this aha moment of, oh wow, because it wasn't until after that song when I went back off stage and I thought, oh yeah, this is kind of fun.
And you claim to be a shy person.
I grew up a shy person. I learned a lot about my family is not shy anyway. I was the shyest of my family. Probably that's better said, or a better way to describe
Well,
it.
I have a theory that a lot of successful actors like you are basically shy people. And this is an opportunity to be someone else in your own skin, as it were.
Right. I don't have to be me on stage. Although I have to honestly say, with my beginning doing the karaoke thing, and I had my own show, it was the first one in Southern California. I had to be me 4 hours. But once it got busy, I was hardly on stage, and when I'd introduce the next song, hand the mic off, and it kind of ran on its own. But I had a lot of experience right away that taught me it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay, people respond not to exactly to what you're doing or saying, oh, the way he pronounced that word was beautiful. They respond to you reaching out for connection and them giving back. And it's so people always say actors, they want the applause. I wanted the connection from that first moment. And when I felt the audience with me, it was encouragement. Yeah. And I think it's probably the same for music too. Just straight, as a jazz musician, or I've done singing and had that experience, but and it's an instrumentalist, it's something else maybe. Playing trombone in an orchestra, I was focused on kind of the people around me, or in a jazz band.
In a jazz band, you have both. You have your conversation with the other musicians, which is what jazz is for me at least.
Mhm.
And then you have your audience. You can't really play without the audience. So it's like a live conversation,
Absolutely.
like what we're doing now.
We're riffing. I find that fantastic.
Yeah. So, and I'm finding out all these wonderful things about you. So, it's kind of incredible that people fall into lives,
Right.
and I didn't even know this about you. So keep going. You sang with Billy Joel. What's going on, man? Tell me.
Well, that wasn't a professional engagement. That
You
was.
look a bit like Billy Joel. Are you Jewish?
I am not. Although for my entire life, I managed a Jewish steakhouse in New York called Triplets. That was a whole story and a whole other story. Long lost triplets that found each other. They found out that the government had separated them.
Oh my goodness, Tom.
Yeah, David is still a very good friend of mine.
I was just thinking about that today.
Yeah, they had made a film.
Right, once, hold on, kid. Hold on. I got goosebumps now.
Yeah.
Like when you told me that you like when you sent me the bio and I read that you had a identical twin brother, I remembered this story with the triplets.
Yeah.
Now, how weird is that?
That's incredible. And they made that movie, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with David, his brother Bobby. The third brother is gone now. But we have a whole Facebook chat group for all the people that worked during those few years because we're all so close. It's like a family. There were days where, because they hired singers, there were days where there were no Jewish waiters on the floor, so we had to fake, singing whatever we could, especially all the party songs and stuff.
Like what?
Hava Nagila and those kinds of things.
Yeah, I was guessing. So can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sing Hava Nagila now?
No. I'll leave that to the professionals.
Come on, I'll play it for you. You sing.
I don't know if I remember the words anymore. Mel, this was also 25 years ago.
It doesn't matter, man.
All right. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter then.
Okay,
Let's do it.
I can play it for you.
All right.
I'm not going to though.
Okay.
I can pretend to play it.
All right.
You
Oh,
sing
you
a-
want me to sing it with a cappella? That's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't want you to sing a cappella. I want you to sing it without any music.
right. Jeez.
Ah,
Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Hava Nagila
Venismecha.
Hava renanana Hava renanana Hava renanana Vemismecha Uru Achim those words I've forgotten now.
Uruachim b'lev sameach.
V'lesameach urachim v'lesameach. Yeah, I'm fudging the
Uruachim
urachim
b'lev
v'lesameach.
sameach.
We did our first duet.
Of a Hebrew song.
Yeah. I've been listening on repeat to, what's it called? Elohai, this beautiful song. I've been listening to it like on repeat for a week now. I discovered it, unfortunately, on one of those Pink Martini CDs or something. But then I looked up the cantor that wrote it and saw the beautiful renditions in YouTube as well. Yeah. And my best friend is American, but his parents are Israeli origin, Jewish. And we've known each other 27 years or so. He's
But you look a little bit like Billy Joel.
yeah, Billy Joel, right. So the
It's a good thing one of us remembers who we are.
right.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. So I was living in San Francisco still before I moved to New York, and a friend of mine who was a producer called at midnight and said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in bed asleep." I get these calls all the time. I don't know. And he's like, come to the Four Seasons, stand to the Redwood Room. I'm like, "Man, I'm in bed, Steven. Let me just. He's like, no, you have to come. You have to come. I'm like, all right. So I got up and got dressed. I took a cab up to the Four Seasons, which wasn't that far. And there's a fantastic piano player named Rico Skates. This big man. And he was up on this little sort of raised platform with like a, not a gondola. What is it? Like you have in the backyard.
Veranda.
Yeah, no, one of those round domed small structures. Anyway, starts with a G. Doesn't matter. So he's up on this
A gazebo.
gazebo. That was it. Gazebo. So he's in this gazebo-like structure. It's got lights inside, and he's a showman. So he's rocking up on the piano bench and moving around and doing all this. And he sees me after he finishes and says, "Do you want to sing a song?" And I'm like, "And please don't ask me to sing the next one." and I said, "Sure." And he's like, "Somebody requested Summertime. Do you know it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he starts playing, and I'm singing Summertime. And I'm looking out, and this is all around me. And I'm looking out at people, and nobody's looking at me at all. Everybody's looking past me. I'm like, what the? And I look back, and Billy Joel and his entourage were walking in the room, and they were staying there. And he just finished his concert at the Oakland Arena and was on his way back to the hotel. And Stephen found out, my friend from one of the people who worked in the hotel. And he walked, and he had this huge snifter of brandy in his hand. And he walked straight up to the piano and sat down and started playing with Rico. And so we finished the song, and everybody's going crazy for Billy Joel. And he looks at me and says, "Hey, you want to sing another one?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right." And he's like, "What do you know of mine?" I'm like, "Oh, dear God." No, I said, "Well, I know New York State of Mind, but I'm the bass baritone. I don't sing in your stratosphere." He's like, "How's this?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I then sang New York State of Mind.
He played it in your key?
Yeah, he just dropped it like a third without even thinking twice.
He's such a piano man.
Oh, yeah. His whole style, that first album, that was all piano bar, whatever key you like,
Yeah,
sir.
no, because Billy Joel is like you, Tom. He's him.
Yeah.
He was the piano man. He played in bars, and he did the Beatle covers, and whatever he could to just make a living.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My dad was a huge fan. So the minute Piano Man came out, we owned it and we're listening to it all the time. And we're West Coasters, so
Yeah, he played on Wilshire Boulevard in LA.
Yeah, sure, all over the place.
So 1 second. So what song did you sing? You sang New York State of Mind?
New York State of Mind, and that was fun. And then he did a couple more songs, and his backup singers came up, and it moved on. But it was an exciting moment because it was so unexpected. Yeah, so that was really fun.
So you are a master of the unexpected.
I don't know if I'm a master. I'm just open to it.
Well, I mean, you've spent most of your adult life in Germany.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I moved to San Francisco at 24. I moved to New York. No, 24. How old was I? 65.
Well, when you were 24,
I'm 25. I was 25. I moved to San Francisco. 95, so 31, almost 31. I moved to New York. I was almost 10 years there, and traveled the country and lots of places. And then this is also kind of interesting. These coincidences. A friend of mine from San Francisco moved to New York, and I was at his going away party. At his going away party, I thought, I want to go too. And 3.5 weeks later, my bags were packed and I was moving to New York. I called a friend. I'd found a place to live. I thought, why not? So I was in New York for all those years and did lots of jobs and traveled on tour, did the national tour of Jesus Christ Superstar with Ted Neal and Carl Anderson, and did plays and all sorts of stuff. And
what did you do in Jesus Christ Superstar?
Caiaphas. Always the bad guy with the low voice. That's mainly where bass comes from. I'm not an actual bass. I had to push my voice down there, but I could do it and do it well enough. I've done probably over the course of the last years, 15 different productions of Jesus Christ Superstar in 3 languages now.
So that you don't do anything else by Andrew Lloyd Webber, just that one.
Oh, no, I've done Evita. Yeah, I've done other musicals too. I've done over 100 musicals,
Wouldn't it be great if you were cast as Evita?
but nobody wants to see that. Maybe the young
Don't
girlfriend.
cry for me, Argentina.
You're Evita, and you'd look better as a blonde than I would, Mel.
You know, I don't look bad as a blonde, but this show is about you, Tom.
I was waiting for that line. I've been watching your last with Visa and uh, your friend last night, who writes the books, a psychologist. That was very interesting.
Amy, yeah.
Yeah, Amy, right. Um, yeah, and so just to finish off that story, I was in New York, and the friend that moved to New York that I followed had, meanwhile, gone to Germany to do Miss Saigon. And he got cast in this production of Jesus Christ Superstar in English, and they couldn't find a bass. So he said, I know this guy in New York. And I talked with the intendant, the head of the summer series, and got hired for the job. So I went over for 3 months, and they flew me over, and I had a nice little apartment right there. And it was this beautiful little town called Bad Hersfeld, Bad Hersfeld in English, right in the middle of Germany. And that's where I met my wife. She was in the show. Still, I went back.
She's also a thespian.
Yes, she is. We met on stage. So, and she's been doing it for years and years and years as well. Yeah, so I was there. I met her. My friend was in the show. I did some traveling while I was there. I rented a car and drove through the Alps and through Austria and Switzerland, and stayed with friends from the cast when we had time off. And it was amazing. But then I went back, although my wife and I were still in contact. And while she came to visit me the beginning of the next year, the intendant from that show called and said, we're doing Superstar again. Do you want to do it? And I said, yes. And a friend of mine who's a New York Broadway director and Bayard Lee, who was in the original chorus line, was doing a European tour of Jesus Christ Superstar. And I got cast in that. So I was there again in 2003 from February to August. And then I went back, sold everything, and moved in with my wife. And it was over from there, much like your story. I love how you speak so highly and so often about your lovely wife, Shuli. Yeah, Shuli?
Yeah, no, because I have to, because she's downstairs, and otherwise I get into trouble, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, I came to Israel for Zionism, not for love.
Right. But you found love while you were there, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
I went to Germany for a job and found love.
It's incredible. And how long have you been? So you live in Berlin or in the other city?
We live in Berlin. When I moved there, we lived in Essen, where she's from. She was the original Aida in the Elton John musical here in Germany. So we were in a couple of years in Essen, and then we moved 2005 to Berlin. And so, yeah, we're here since 2005. We're married since 2004, together since 2002. Good life.
Right.
And two beautiful children.
Yeah. Yeah. How old are they?
Our son is 13 and our daughter is 11. 14. What am I saying? He turned 14. 14 and 11. Yeah.
Lucky for us, they never watch these shows.
I won't admit my mistake if you won't.
What mistake?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
So, how often do you get to see your identical twin brother?
Well, at the beginning, it was every couple of years. Lately, it's been every year, but of course, we haven't been home since last summer. But it's also, yeah. So it's been a little bit, but I'm close with my whole family, so I Skype or FaceTime or whatever with my parents every week, and chat with my brother more than type. But even my kids have contact to their cousins. And
so are you close to your brother?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's a funny thing. Like, we have this when we're talking on Skype, unless you mirror your image, you're the opposite of what you think you are.
Right.
But you're not
Exactly.
really. You're not really. I mean, you are what you are. For the first time in your life, you can actually see how other people see you.
That's why I ignore me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
and
confused.
for good reason, because you
Yeah.
can look at your brother and
Right.
see you.
Yeah. Every once in a while that deja vu happens anyway if I look in the mirror. Um, but
You ever look in the
when
mirror and think it's your brother?
no, but I see the similarities. But when you grow up as a twin, for me, he's a brother. He's not a twin. He looks very different to me. That's not the case for other people. I'm aware of that, but I don't look at him and think, "Oh wow, there I am." It's just uh, you see.
Like you have like similar thoughts at the same time. You have like gestures that are similar, because I have that with my baby brother, and we're twins, but he's 9 years younger than me,
Okay.
and he
Yeah.
has like I once watched him giving a talk, and he has the same intonation, the same movements and whatever.
Right. Yeah, and that's family. That's the beautiful thing about it. My sister has some of that as well, and she's 4 years older. Um, so people always ask, "Do you have those twin moments?" And the funny thing is, I used to say yes, but I've watched my own kids where they come from two different rooms and they have headphones on, and they happen to be listening to the same radio station or something, singing the same song, and they take it off. They're like, "Huh? What are you lit?" And so these moments aren't always twin moments. I think we have a very close connection and always have, but as mirror twins, we're also partly very different from each other. Yeah.
And I never heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact description of that phenomenon is, but that was somehow explained to our parents, and there are things that are truly opposite, and but you could also
Oh,
say
he's a contralto.
he's an alto. Let's not exaggerate. Um, It takes after my mom more. But that's the thing. You don't know. You can say we're twins and we're opposites, but some of it's like I'm more like my dad. But he looks on my mom's side of the family. They have the rounder face. My dad has a longer Tucker face, and I take after him in that regard. But my mom's got the black hair and the Portuguese.
No, but Tom, if he's an identical twin, then he's got the same genes as you.
Yeah, absolutely. That
It's
doesn't.
crazy. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
but
guys,
again, growing up with that, that's the part that I kind of ignored. And you see the differences. As twin boys or as young boys, all you do is fight anyway. So um, you start seeing the differences and what's wrong with them, as opposed to appreciating.
I have a theory though. You might be left-handed and not know it.
Or he right? I don't know.
Exactly, because you looked at each other. I have to look into this now. Like if let's say we were twin brothers, identical twins, and I saw you grabbing something with your left hand, I would grab something with my right hand. I would do that for you.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything scientific about it. When you clasp your hands, I'm very right hand dominant, but he's always clasped it the other way, his left hand on top. And people subconsciously, I guess you don't think about which finger is going to go on top and which on bottom. It's sort of a subconscious thing, and your dominant hand is usually on top, dominant thumb.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one of those little
In your case though, it's Tom Thumb.
tom thumb.
Sorry,
Oh
that's
no!
terrible,
Wow.
terrible. terrible. So, did you ever check eye dominance? There's
No,
also eye dominance.
that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have
Like,
to check that out.
you look at something like this, and then you close, you see, you hold something, you look at something far away,
Yeah.
and you close either eye and see whether it moves with which eye. I'm giving a very good scientific explanation now. There is such a thing.
This is the highly intellectual interview, Mel. We're going deep into science here.
Actually, we are. Uh, but if not for karaoke and this chance audition, you could have been an industrial psychologist.
I don't know that it was. And so the truth is, I wanted to study psychology, and my father, uh, being the banker that he was for almost 50 years, um, thought, what's applicable to psychology that is a career, and um, so industrial psychology sounded good to him, and it was fine with me. I wanted to learn psychology, and I actually found I was really good at math, and it has a lot to do with statistics, industrial psychology. So I flew by those kind of criteria right away, and got into the stuff that I found juiciest. Um,
Did your folks support your career as an actor singer?
my mom was did she did a little bit of singing in her younger days. She um, yeah, my mom is an interesting person also. She was a stay-at-home mom, but was always busy. She sometimes worked as a demonstrator in supermarkets where you let people taste, but then she started running the whole region, and she's a very smart woman. And then she was head of the largest charity organization in San Jose, where I grew up. Um, President of the organization. She was going to be first mayor-elect of this small town in San Diego. And so she was always busy with other stuff. She taught bridge, she taught cooking. So a lot of my motivation of staying busy and learning things comes from her. My dad is very supportive. I don't know if he'll ever understand it 100%, because I was one of those people that I learned about something and got what I wanted out of it and then moved on. So it was trombone, it was tennis, it was piano, it was even stage, although I did it a long time. There were other things that were going on. I've been working on script writing for the last few years, and have a 10 episode series done that's and working on other stuff now. So I love writing also, and that was something that I did in college, short stories and poems. And but
Let's publish some of those, Tom.
What's that?
I want to publish some of your stuff.
Well, maybe, it's so stupid because I keep looking at Our Box and think I need to go. I need to try something. I need to just.
Oh, I forgot to say this show is being brought to you by Our Books.
Absolutely.
The world's simplest free platform.
That's why I dropped it in there.
Well done, kid. Well done.
Okay. Brought to you by Our Box.
Okay, Our Books.
Our Books.
Yeah, can you do this from the beginning? I'm going to use this.
I'll record it professionally for you in my studio if you want. You tell me what you want me to say.
Then I'm gonna owe you.
No.
I'm gonna have to bark for your kids or something.
Did we not talk about juiciness and about giving and?
Did we?
You did. I know you did.
Oh, the juice.
You got to live the concepts, Mel.
Tom, it wasn't me. I was writing about my year.
Yeah.
And Shiri wrote, "It sounds like you've been juicy." I didn't invent that juiciness. I've now.
No, but your Vorsatz, your New Year's resolution was to live it, right?
Yeah, to be juicy.
I heard you in that video.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So I can also live to be juicy.
Okay.
And do that for you. But we got to make it for kids. I'm not going to do the typical.
No. Our Books is like for everybody. There's cookbooks and.
No, I meant the voiceover, but yeah.
No, you can do.
You have such a credible way with music and stuff. You already have such a great jingle for this. I'm sure you could.
We should do a jingle for Our Books.
Yeah. Does it make sense for books? I mean, I'm happy to.
It's as easy as it looks.
Okay. We'll brainstorm. Let's do that. I'm in. I'm absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we should do more. I mean, I haven't seen you since the first time I saw you,
Right.
and that was the last time I saw you.
I have to tell you, one of my best moments from that day, that evening, was after the dinner afterwards at that villa on the in Potsdam, um, singing a little bit with you at the piano. And I was being there. There, I was being shy, Tom. I didn't want to sing too loud, and I think we did. I don't know if you played A Train or something. I don't remember anymore exactly, but that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
In Potsdam.
Yeah, on that lake. It was the American House or something it's called, I think. And they do lectures and stuff there as well, but that was where the dinner was after the Sapana uh, day adventure. Yeah.
So listen, this has been incredible. Before I let you go, you have to tell me about the Beatles.
I have to be honest. I appreciate the Beatles incredibly and immensely. I
Mhm.
wouldn't say that I'm a huge fan. I like heady, much more heady music. So things that are even musically a little more intellectual. But what I love about the Beatles are the lyrics that are so um, from an unexpected perspective. I think, you know, they talk a lot to people or about people. It's not always a direct interaction, but I was going to try and trick you into telling me your favorite from the White Album. I heard that. Dear Prudence. I
I
love Dear
actually,
Prudence.
I will tell you.
Yeah.
I will tell you. But when you said you like headier music, what does that mean?
It's one of the reasons why I love jazz so much. The complexity of it.
Right.
Um,
When I
Three
started
sheet chords.
teaching about the Beatles,
Mhm.
their music is quite complicated.
Okay.
Just at the beginning, the early songs, "Money Can't Buy Me Love," it's just the blues.
Mhm.
But then, starting around 1964, they became incredibly sophisticated. And one of the things about a good song, and you know this, is to have sophisticated underpinnings, but to sound like the song is simple.
Sure.
I can give you an example because you're a musician. I was at a conference a few years ago, and we were looking for like a simple song. And I said, well, let's do the Doors. The Doors have a song, "Touch Me, Babe." I don't
Mhm.
know what it's called. I'm gonna love you till the heavens stop the rain.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna love you. And I said, that's got to be simple. That's an incredibly difficult song. It's got about 72 chords.
right. Wow.
Yeah, it's not the same chord. It keeps modulating.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly difficult song.
Right.
So so um so and I can tell you my favorite Beatles song if you have one to share with us.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things I was talking about perspective that I love is this. Their lyric. This is one of the things I love. Their lyrics feel spontaneous. It's a conversation with somebody who may or may not be there, and that's one of the reasons why I love Michelle so much.
Oh,
Is because it's this guy just trying to figure out how to tell this girl he loves her. And there's such a simplicity to that, but the way they write the lyrics is unexpected, even though we've known them for so many years now.
yeah, it's almost borderline inane, this the French business, and
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I love Michelle. I teach Michelle.
Ah, fantastic.
It's an incredibly complicated harmonic piece. Yeah, because we're used to Michelle, my belle, do dee do dee do dee 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 do 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 do.
Well,
It's complicated.
I love that it goes back and forth between minor and major, and that's
Yeah,
one of the things at the beginning there, the verse
it's
that
incredibly complicated.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't know. Maybe it's as opposed to musically or even lyrically, it's just this feeling of simplicity. Um,
Yeah,
But I love also old jazz standards, foolish things, and those kinds of songs that just it's the melody. I love melodies. Uh, yeah.
So do you want to sing these foolish things?
You want that or you want Beatles? I don't want to.
I'm going to make an exception for you, my friend.
Ah, wow.
People don't realize that one of my students wrote to me, Mel, you teach this course in 60s music because you grew up in the 60s and you love 60s music and you're biased. And I was like insulted, and I went home and I said to my dear wife, and then I remembered that I'm a jazz musician and I love 40s music more than 60s music.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead.
Don't let some young punk tell you who you are, Mel.
Absolutely.
A cigarette that bears a lipstick's traces, an airline ticket to romantic places. Oh, how my heart has wings. These foolish things remind me of you. A tinkling piano in the next apartment. Those stumbling words that told you what my heart meant. A fairground's painted swings. Woo! These foolish things remind me of you. How strange, how rare, these things to me. When you did that to me, I knew somehow you had to be a lingering. Oh, I've lost it. Something about a ghost. No. Sorry. A tingling piano in the next apartment. Those stumbling words that told you what my heart meant. These fairgrounds
and how the ghost of you clings.
These foolish things remind me of you.
That's beautiful. That's also one of my favorite songs. I'm thinking maybe Johnny Mercer, but I might be wrong.
There's so many versions of that. Beautiful.
And again, it's like what you say. All of a sudden, all these things. The playground and the tinkling piano.
Yeah, such simple thoughts.
Yeah.
But lipstick on a cigarette, that creates such a picture in your mind.
Yeah, it's all pictures.
And not everybody can write that.
In Yiddish, we'd say it's Hamish. Have you learned any German over the past 20 years?
Oh, yeah, I'm completely fluent.
Wow. Is there a word like Heimish or something, which means like homely, not homely, friendly?
Friendly, yeah, fine.
Heimish, it's like something you do in the house, among friends.
Ah, okay. Yeah, freundlich, familiär is family, more based than, it's not the English familiar. It has more to do with family and friends. And
the problem with Yiddish is it's different from German, but it lets you think that you know German. And I once traveled the wrong way all across Germany because I thought I knew where I was going.
Oops. Yeah, but then you saw what you needed to see.
I didn't. I wanted to get to Hanover and I ended up in Constance. So it's not.
Oh, yeah. A lovely university town. Not Hanover, but
it was nighttime anyway, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So Tom, what is your favorite Beatles song before we go?
There's several, but I love Michelle. I love Dear Prudence. But when it comes to groups like that, I love the hits. They're hits for a reason.
So, do you really think I'm going to tell you my favorite Beatles song?
Evidently not.
No, but if you ask me nicely, I'll tell you.
I would love, dear Mel, to know your favorite Beatles song. And it's from the White Album, you said, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to sing it for you, I think.
Okay.
I wasn't planning to. I just happen to have my piano here, though.
Lovely. That's a gift. Thank you.
Hmm?
That's a gift that you're going to sing for us.
No, I bought the piano myself. Sorry.
Wow. Ba-dum-tsh.
Here, making each day of the year, changing my life with a wave of her hand. Nobody can deny there's something there, running my hands through her hair. Each of us thinking how sweet it can be. Somebody speaking, but she doesn't know he's there. I need her everywhere, and if she's beside me, I know I need never care. For to love her is to need her everywhere, knowing that love is to share. Each of us thinking that love never dies, watching her eyes and hoping I'm always there, to be there and everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. Oh, yeah. So, Tom, that's with a lot of love to you.
Thank you.
And yes, let's do something.
Absolutely. I'm going to start today working on a book idea. And next time you do one of your beginning ABC classes, you let me know and I will join.
Oh, I'm gonna what for writing children's books?
Yeah.
I will give one especially for you.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
All right. Fantastic. I'm in.
Okay. I mean, this is the year of juiciness, isn't it, man?
Oh, this is so juicy. Thank you.
Well, listen, take care of yourself,
You too.
and don't forget to bark.
Woof.
It's another story.
Yeah.
Tom Tucker, it's been great having you on You've Got Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Contact me and we'll start working.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Take care.